everybody, and welcome back to our channel. We're Book Bliss and Chicks. I'm Ashley, and always to my left is Courtney.
Hello.
On today's episode, we're going to be doing Author of the Month, and today, our author for May is going to be nobody other than S.J. Tilly. You know we love her. Today's episode, we're going to be giving out awards for like our favorite books, our favorite series, our favorite men, mostly the men.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be talking about some of our favorite scenes and all that good stuff. And then we have a bunch of questions from SJ Tilly that she answered on an AMA on Reddit. And we're just gonna give you guys some like low down dirt for SJ Tilly. And if by the end of this episode you have not like decided to pick up an SJ Tilly book, then we have steered you wrong.
Yeah.
And we apologize. But all we're gonna really say is read SJ Tilly.
Exactly. And just a disclaimer for this episode, obviously we're going to be talking about S.J. Tilly's books, so this entire episode will be full of spoilers for all of her books. So
sorry.
Proceed with caution.
Yeah. So the first series we're going to actually talk about is none other than the Darling series or duology.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is Smokey Darling. It is Bennett and Beckett and
Eloise.
That name. And why don't you tell us what the plot of this one is?
So the plot of Smokey Darling is that Beckett and Eloise grow up. Their families are friends. So Eloise has always had a crush on Beckett, and you know, he was a little bit older than her. A little bit. I don't remember their exact age gap. I want to say it was maybe like 7 years or so. I get, a little bit for me. But yeah, like 7 years. And then it kind of flashes forward because at first it starts off and she's like 7 years old, and you're like, what am I reading?
Yeah, that really threw me off when I first read it. I was just like, huh?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Okay. This is kind of weird.
So it flips from like her being 7 to like 13 to 20. And then it goes to her being like 30, whatever age she is during the book. But then they reconnect, and she's on this trip she's a teacher, so she's on a school trip, and they go camping, and Beckett is the camp counselor guy. So yeah. So she shows up and she's like, oh my god. And like they kind of realize that they are each other, like, yeah. And so it goes through them like camping, and then afterwards, and they kind of like build this relationship, and it's really cute. Yeah, I like it. It's really cute.
I know, like, we read them out of order, so we read this one first, and we won't tell you about that one yet. But then we read this one, and this one like threw me so off. Yeah. Especially the beginning when it's like, I'm 7 and I'm in love with him, and he's older than me by like a lot. And it was just kind of creepy to me at the beginning. Yeah. It was kind of like pedophile-y.
Yeah, but I was really confused because I'm like, why are we talking about, like,
you just gotta get over it. Yeah. Just get over it, and then it gets so much better.
And I think it goes by pretty quick. Like, I'm pretty sure the first chapter is like 7, and that like each chapter skips like years. Yeah. So it's really only like the first, I would say 10 max. That you have to kind of get over that weirdness. But
so would you say, besides age gap, obviously that's one of the tropes, would you say that they're like a second chance kind of trope too?
So I would say in a way second chance, more so because like they kind of like met each other again as like a second chance, and he's looking at her like, oh, that's like, that's Eloise, like that's how she grew up to be. And she's like, damn, that's Beckett, because in one of the earlier chapters she's at the coffee shop that her best friend, who's in this book, she's at the coffee shop with her best friend, and he like walks in, and this is the first time she sees him as like an adult. She's like 20 something. Yeah. And she's like, oh my god, like that's Beckett, I'm in love with him. Damn. And he does not even recognize her. He has no idea that it's her. Yeah, he's like,
I don't know who that is, but she's fine.
He just like has no idea.
Damn, Beckett.
So it's a cute like second chance, I would say. For sure.
Okay, so this one, what is the most traumatizing thing that happens in this one for you?
So I think the thing that was kind of like traumatizing or like looming over me while I was reading the book was that since we read this book first, this one alludes to the kidnapping of Eloise, because it alludes to her kidnapping, and Axel asks about it in this book. So like I knew that she was gonna get kidnapped in the book, but I was like waiting and waiting and waiting, because also this was the first book I read by S.J. Tilly, and then I went to Smokey Darling, which I didn't read any of her Alliance or other series that we're going to get into later, where the main characters get kidnapped.
It's the same plot.
Yeah. So I didn't know that like the kidnapping was going to happen so much later in the book. So I'm like waiting and waiting and waiting for it to happen. Everything that like was going wrong, like, because there are some like scenes where you're like, there's like a creepy dad on the camp field trip, and you're like, oh my god, I was like, is he gonna be the kidnapper? Like, what's gonna happen? Like, so
yeah. So now that we've talked about Smokey Darling, let's get to our favorite one, little Mr. Lassie Darling over there.
My favorite.
This was obviously our first introduction. Courtney read it first, and then she was like, girl, read this.
Yeah.
Thank the fucking Lord, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's so good.
It was so good.
So good.
Ugh, Axel. I've never wanted an old man. Or an older man, sorry.
Yeah. Right.
S.J. Tilly has a way of writing things that the men, especially, that make me want to go be with older men.
Yeah.
I'm obviously married, so that's not gonna happen. But like, ooh.
Yeah.
Damn. Axel was daddy.
I was like rereading their intro yesterday, like prepping for this episode.
Yeah.
And the way that she like describes him, like silver fox with the tats, like the book cover like goes perfectly, like the hand tats and everything. And I was like, oh, like I forgot I didn't forget what this man did for me, but like it like revamped it. I'm like, I might need to like read this again soon, because
oh my goodness, I know that's why like we're talking about it, and I'm just kind of like letting you go off, because I'm like, this one I don't really remember that much.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird for me, but that one, we're gonna have to maybe dip our toes back in that, and the Alliance. We can dip our toes in that.
I know, honestly, too. Like these, I feel like both of them would just be like books that I would read.
You can read every year.
Yeah,
and they're so fast.
They are.
Like the chapters are little, and they're packful though.
Yeah.
So it's just, you just read them again and then again and then again. Like they look like they're big boys, and they're like 300 pages.
Yeah.
Or some change, but they're impactful.
I read this one in one day.
Yeah.
Like literally one day.
She made me read that one day.
Like,
let's go. I want to talk.
Yeah, I want to say I literally think I read that one in one day, and I'm pretty sure I read this one like over a weekend.
Yeah, she read it, and then she was just like, hurry the fuck up, because I want to talk about it. And I was just like, okay,
immediate recommendation.
So these are the Darling duology. Yes. They were our first like tiptoed in, and you know what, I would say that it was a good tiptoe in. This is maybe like a safe, this one's like maybe a safe place to start, that way, like if you're triggered by kidnapping, to like, it's mentioned but it's not like happening.
And even that one, like she gets kidnapped, but she doesn't even get like to a second location, like he, I don't really want to tell you exactly what happens, but like she's not kidnapped for very long. Like it's a very like
none of this universe.
Yeah. So these are safer. This one, there's like nothing like that in there. So
the next series we have is the Sin series. Apologies for our little display. Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. The star of the show is obviously in the middle.
Yes.
And this is even the order that you read them in, but the star of the fucking show is Angelo. He was fantastic. He's not a 10 out of 10. He's a 100 out of 10.
Yeah.
He's everything. And we've said this in almost every episode we recorded so far. He is everything. He's your book
Mm-hmm.
boyfriend. He's your book bestie. He's your book man. He's your book husband.
Mm-hmm.
He's your book baby daddy.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's your book father. Like
he's all of the above.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I loved him.
I know.
The series was so freaking good. So it starts off with Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
They meet in Las Vegas,
Yeah.
and again, the choking of the men.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
poor girl, the poor main character, was going through it. This guy was harassing her at a bar, and he goes, ah.
Yeah.
Just was like,
he was like, security, take care of this. And then little did she know that the reason why he had security
to begin with
was because it was
it's his
hotel,
company.
his company, and yeah.
And he's like a big man. Like he's a big boy. He used to be like the head of a mafia, but they're going clean.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of literally what this whole thing is. She's like a social media or like human relations.
Yeah, like a human relations
media
type of
relations.
person.
Yeah.
She's like helping his family have
name.
a clean image. And she
met.
doesn't know, like when they do their meet cute, which is in Vegas, she has no idea that that's about to be her new boss. And so she shows up to the first day of work, and
she shows up the day before work.
Or the day before,
her stuff in her office.
Yes.
Ooh, that day too. That day pissed me off, but it was so good.
I did hate Vincent for a little bit.
The first half of the book.
But
you fucked up. Yeah,
you're gonna hate Vincent for a little. Power through. I promise you, it's worth it.
Worth it.
So he's worth it.
I think after that, like that next altercation they have on their first day and their first meeting, and then she meets Annie.
Yeah.
When she comes to the house, I think after that you're just kind of like, oh, okay, he's the best.
Yeah.
He's the cutest.
Once you're like, he's an adorable doting father.
Yeah, he's just trying to protect his kid. Yeah. He's worth it. He's awesome.
Yeah.
I love him. And he's Sin. He's Mr. Sin. Like he looks like the devil.
That's what they call him.
And he has sex like the devil too, apparently. Yeah. Oh my god. That man started it. This man finished it. He was like, and then this one is Angelo. I'm sorry, we're gonna keep talking about Angelo, but this one is Angelo. He's his cousin.
Yep.
He's the head of his security team. So he's like a big brawly kind of man.
He is a unit.
He's beautiful. He's pretty much sent to protect his uncle's old best friend's daughter, who's now having issues with a different mafia family.
Yeah.
And they meet at the gym.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So she starts working at the gym, and he goes to that gym, and that's where he's like, so at first, Uncle Enzo, who's the family friend of the female main character, it says to just watch her at the gym when she's at work.
Yeah.
Daddy Angelo, don't listen.
He was like, "Oh, I'm watching with my eyes,
I'm watching all the
time, my mouth. I'm watching with all of my being." Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, and there was like this little jealous moment they both had at the gym. I loved it, where she had a client that was walking out of her office, and he was just like, he like growled at her.
Yeah, because she like hugged the client, and the client had like brought her cookies that his wife made, and he was like, nope,
hell no,
not about to happen.
I love that moment. Or then like when his ex or like his old fuck buddy like was there, always trying to get back with him.
Yeah,
and she was just like, that man is mine. Who the fuck do you think you are, hitting on my man? I don't like that shit. And it was just like they were like so possessive over each other. They were perfect. They were perfect. Yeah. This is them. This is them. This is the couple. And then we go into
Miss Sin. Yep. And that's with John, who is the brother of Sasha, Vincent's wife. So that's John. And then Nora works at Marie's house, which is like one of the...
It's like a homeless shelter.
I was gonna say, homeless shelter.
It's like a halfway house that saves women and kids.
Yeah, women's shelter. And she volunteers there. And that's kind of how they meet. They have another meet cute where Sasha's arguing with this guy outside on the curb, and then John pulls up and chokes him out, and Nora's watching through the windows like,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
And
So good.
yeah. So
My favorite thing about this series is that they all obviously they connect because that's his cousin or this is the brother.
yeah.
But like they always bring back the characters. So like in this one, when they were going through like the mafia problems, they went to their house and they were safe for the night and all that stuff. And then this one, it always comes back to this couple. Obviously they're the main couple, but like they were there. Or like when they all got fucked up, Daddy was there. So it's just like I love the series. I love when she connects them. They're so cute. And she does that a lot in the Alliance too. Like you see King and Nero in almost every you see them in every book.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
Yeah.
I love when she does that.
The other thing I liked about this series before we wrap it up with this one is like I like a lot of the side characters of this series.
Oh yeah, Ty.
Like Ty.
Ty's got me in a chokehold.
Yeah.
Woo!
Ty.
Eric.
Vincent's assistant.
Yeah,
receptionist.
I
love him.
He's so he's so
and
we love
perfect.
Him. Yeah,
like
because he was so jealous and he was like, and she was like, bro, chill the fuck out. He's
yeah.
Like I'm just trying to take you to Pound Town and you to Pound Town only.
Right.
Oh my god. And then the receptionist too.
Yes.
From the gym. She was so sweet and so cute.
She was stressing me. Cute. I know.
She was stressing me because of like the plot that usually goes on in her books. I was waiting for the kidnapping, waiting for the betrayal.
Right.
And I was just like, please no, please no, please no, please no, please no, please no.
I know.
I loved her so much, and I was just like, because she spoke a lot, like, about her, but not a lot. But, like, a lot, but not a lot. Like, you only get, like, this much of her personal life, but you get her, like, in almost every time they're at the gym. So it's kind of just like, please don't do me like this. Please don't do me
know.
I loved her, too.
Yeah. So the side characters were
the side characters. They're besties. Like, there's one main, like, tertiary character.
Yeah.
And you're kind of just like, oh, I love them.
Mm-hmm.
The same with Ty for this one. Ty is the tertiary character in that one. You're just like, Ty has made me rethink some of my things in life, okay? Ty. There was that one moment, again, with the joking about, there was this one moment I was just like, I don't know if I have problems. Obviously, I do. But, like, whenever she's ready to drop Ty's book, I'm eating it up.
Yeah.
There's same day delivery, same day received, same day read.
I'm ready.
Ready. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
But the Sin series overall, what would you rate it?
Out of 10?
Out of 10.
I'm giving it a 9 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 too, yeah.
Yeah.
Rank them 1 out of 3.
I'd probably do 1, 2, and then 3.
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
This one was kind of just there.
Yeah.
It was just there. It was good. It just you can't compete.
I was gonna say I did like Nora's character development in this one, and I think John's kind of a hottie. Like something about the FBI agent. I was just like, okay.
I loved him. It was just like the ending where she turned into Katniss Everdeen. I've talked about this a few times now.
Yeah.
Just threw me the hell off. I was just like, what the hell? Where the hell did that come from? Mm-hmm. But like when he was drugged and he made it all the way to her, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. They had a lot of 10 out of 10 moments. Mm-hmm. I just wish it had a little bit more.
The closet scene at Maria's house during the party?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I have problems, and that's all we're going to talk about. So we're going to bring out the next 2 books, and it's going to be the first 2 books of the Alliance series. So the next 2 are the first 2 in the Alliance. They are what really set us off.
So good.
What really set us off. Oh my god. This
so good.
This one, a blaze of like fury, fire, spicy, hot. Mm-hmm. This man, that's the real devil. He looks like the devil. Yeah. Vincent looks like the devil. This is the devil.
And he's my favorite. I
want him.
Yeah.
Woo! I wanted him, like, when we first read it, and I was just like, oh my god. Oh my god. But this one and Mr. Sin are almost exactly the same.
Yes.
Like, even, like, they both got kidnapped in the gala.
That is true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
In the gala. This one...
I know.
Oh my god.
The men of the second books of S.J. Tilly are always my favorite.
Oh my god. They're so fucking good. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to read Sleet whatever 2 is because
I know it's gonna keep,
and it's a
the
hockey
theme-
romance.
Yeah,
Whew,
I'm
we love us
excited.
some of those.
Mm-hmm.
But Nero,
Mm-hmm.
he goes into someone's house. The door was open, so he just was like helped
Yeah.
himself.
Running from the cops.
Yeah, running from the cops, and they fuck on that night, right?
No,
Oh, they was going to. They should have. They definitely
because
should
she's a
have.
virgin.
Oh yeah, right. It's been a while, so we're definitely gonna have to reread
Yeah, we
these.
have to reread.
But oh my
Yeah.
god.
So yeah, he comes in and they just kind of like he just kind of like chills in her house.
She's like, what are you?
Yeah,
You're fine. You can
she's
stay.
like, oh, okay. Like, you're kind of scary that you're running from the cops and like
But you're
coming
so
in
fine.
through my patio door, but like you're so hot.
You're so fine. And she doesn't even live on the first floor.
Yeah,
She lives on the second floor.
honestly, mood.
Yeah.
Like,
it was just perfect.
Yeah,
Literally perfect. The only part that broke my heart in that one was when she does go to the gala, and he's like, has another woman on his arm, and she's just like, but you invited me, and he's like, no, the fuck, I did not.
Yes.
No, I did not.
Because they bamboozled her.
Yeah, and then she gets kidnapped. But like,
yeah,
it was so good. Oh my god,
I loved Nero because he had like the golden retriever, but like badass man energy at the same time. Like,
he was like a grumpy black cat or a grumpy orange cat with an orange retriever at the same time.
Yeah,
he was beautiful. He was beautifully
like
written.
golden retriever for his wife and grumpy cat for everyone else, and it was just chef's kiss.
Literally, it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Daddy King over there.
So King,
ooh,
this I love.
The book
plot
started
of this one
was so good.
So good.
So his sister, there's another sister, is married.
Yes.
And her husband was cheating on her with the main girl of the book. And
the girl did not know.
She didn't know, she didn't know. But King murders him. Yeah. And she walks in and she's just like, oh. So she like tries to run away from King. And King's just like, ah, shit. And so he has to kidnap her, unfortunately.
The kidnapping came early in this one.
Yeah, the kidnapping was So, oh my god. They like they're fighting. She's like throwing things at him. She's trying to run down the stairs to escape him. But that moment when she's running down the stairs and she almost falls and he pulls her to him to catch her, took my heart. He took my heart after that. After that, it was like 2 chapters in, he took my heart. Yes. I was just like, he's like, my butt. He's like, it hurts. And she's just like, but you caught me. And I'm just like, but you caught us. Yeah. Because I put myself in the experience of the girl.
Exactly.
So I'm just sitting there like, why am I fighting? I'm not fighting no more. Fuck that shit. Loved him.
Yeah, I loved him. Oh, it was so good. And like for him, it was more like Nero was very like golden retriever, I love Peyton, and King was kind of like, no, like I don't have feelings for her. Because also we forgot to mention, he forces her to marry him so that she couldn't testify or say anything against him. He's like, no, I did this all for these reasons, and he's all against the fact that he's in love with her.
Yeah. But it's very obvious. Very obvious. So. And I just loved him. Yeah. I loved him so much. And then but he's like very grumpy, very like golden retriever black cat to his girl, but he's you touch her and you die.
Yes.
He's you touch her and you die. I mean, they're all like that, but
him especially
10 times worse than everybody else. And honestly, out of the 2 of them, King is gonna always take my
absolutely.
He's always gonna take my heart.
Absolutely.
Even out of like all of the guys. I mean, whatever, spoiler, but he's my favorite. Yeah. I love him. He's my favorite. Yeah,
I like King.
Oh my gosh.
I love King the most. Okay, so the last 2 we're gonna talk about is the last 2 books of the Alliance series. So we have Dom and we have Hans.
Fuck Dom.
I was gonna say
I got beef with Dom.
Dom is toxic, but
he is an alpha hole.
He's an alpha hole.
The fucking worst.
Yeah.
And I would still fuck him. So that says a lot.
Yeah. So originally Val, the female main character, thinks that they have a meet cute in the beginning of the book because they run into each other at the airport. And she's like, and her backpack breaks, and he's like, no, I'm gonna buy you like a new backpack, and I'm gonna buy you all this stuff at this airport. And then I don't, did they end up on the same plane?
Yeah, right next
They
to each
did.
other.
Yeah, they ended up next to each other. And so she's like, oh my gosh, fate is finally aligning this for me. Like, this is amazing.
She was single for so long.
Because she was single for so long.
She did dirty by her last.
Yeah.
And Dom was here to save the day.
And then did her dirty.
So just a tidbit. Val is the other sister of King. So King has two sisters.
Step-sister. They're not like fully.
They're half-sisters.
Half-sisters, yeah.
Half-siblings.
And they don't find out about each other until later in life.
Yeah.
They don't know that they're like half-siblings.
So like King is very protective of his sister.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we're just kind of sitting there like, no, King's gonna have to kill you now.
I know.
I'm gonna have to kill you. The things that he does to this girl is not okay. Things he does to this girl.
So he drugs her and has them get married while she's
very intoxicated.
Very intoxicated.
Very fucked up. She's like lightly roofied.
Yeah.
Like she's like the Hangover, the movie. She's the Hangover movie where they get married. Because she was lightly roofied.
Yeah.
It's not great. And then he drugs her again and tattoos his name around her finger. And even under her freaking nail. You're psycho. That must have hurt.
Yeah, he's like, you're not getting this removed.
Yeah, because when she found out eventually, she threw her ring out of the car. And so he was like, you're either going to wear my ring or I'm going to tattoo your hand. And she was like, you ain't going to do shit. So he drugged her and tattooed her hand.
Yeah, because she, like, even throughout their marriage and everything, she thought that it really still was a meet cute until they show up at King's house.
Yeah.
And King's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
So
she was like ready to like introduce him to everybody.
Yeah.
And
Dom they were moving in together.
I want to be part of the alliance. And she's like, it's now clicking in her head that she was set up. It was terrible.
Yeah, it was really sad.
It broke my heart, yeah.
It was sad.
And then like even like throughout their whole relationship, she's kind of like, I love him, but I can't. I love him, but I can't. And she's like going through it. And Dom's just like, no, but you can trust me. Like, I want you to trust me. And she's just looking at him like, bitch, how am I going to do that?
Right. You have not proved any sort of trust at all. And you're just like, yeah, you can just do it. It'll just, that's it.
And then even the things that she never finds out, because I don't think she ever found out that he switched her birth control for placebos.
Yeah, I don't know if he did. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think she found out until like way after she got like.
I think she found out like once. Yeah, I was gonna say once she was actually in love, which at that point she's like, whatever. I mean,
that's hot. You're toxic. It's hot. Like, I'm over it. Let's just do this thing. And then I think at that point she was also pregnant.
Yeah.
So she was just like, okay, oh well. And I don't even think she wanted kids in the first place. She kind of was just like thrown upon it. So he's crazy,
toxic.
He's number one fight on my list.
Also worth mentioning that this series probably has the most triggers of all of her books. I would say definitely check that you're good with those.
Yeah.
Before reading.
The Sin series is just like kidnapping.
Yeah, Sin series there really isn't much like traumatizing things, themes. Just kidnapping.
The women don't really go through anything besides kidnapping.
Yeah.
And that's about it. And then the last one doesn't even get kidnapped.
Yeah.
She gets questioned by the FBI, and that's about it. This man, however, that is a cinnamon roll and the inside.
I know.
He's a cinnamon roll.
Even when we were reading this one, I was like, who? Like, Nero is like the man that started it all.
Yeah.
But
Hans ended it all.
I was going to say Hans ended it all, and he ended it so well.
He was so good.
So good.
He has my favorite favorite kidnapping sequence.
I do like like all of it.
I especially love it because he gets my daddy there with his like grenade launcher. So I was just like eating it up. But like it was maybe even the longest kidnapping too. Where all of the other kidnappings like last like a chapter or 4.
Yeah.
This one lasted like 10 to 12. And it pretty much was like the rest of the book.
Yeah, she had time to like assess her. Yeah, like the female main character was like assessing her plan of action.
Yeah,
she
wasn't like waiting to be saved. She was gonna go and help herself.
Right.
She was coming up with her own plan.
Right.
and I loved it.
Yeah.
So he is neighbors originally with the love interest.
Mm-hmm.
And the people were trying to kill him. We're introduced to him in this one, by the way. And people try to come and kill him
in an amazing way. Yeah. I will say,
the way they're all introduced in each book.
I do love it. Like, I love the way that Hans was introduced in this book.
Yeah, they're all introduced in the same way. Like when the girl gets kidnapped in Nero, you meet King. Mm-hmm. When the girl is kidnapped in King, you meet Dom. Or when she runs away, you meet Dom.
Yes, when she runs away.
And then when, they're in need, you meet Han. Like, they're all introduced in the same way, but it's beautiful.
I love it.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so they were neighbors. And eventually, she's in love with him already, and he's in love with her already. And they're just kind of like, he's being a little douche, won't talk to her in real life. But she bakes terribly, I will say, for him, and he eats it all. He eats it all every single day. He goes into her house. Sorry, it's really creepy. But he goes into her house, make sure, like, she's not in her own, like, harm's way. Like, he makes sure the gas is off, make sure all the windows are locked up. And then when they finally do, like, start hanging out.
Yeah.
Their first time, oh my god, in the garage.
I know.
I was just like, oh my god, I don't know what to do with myself.
I know.
It was so good. Oh my god, Han.
I read that one and I was like,
This series for me is maybe the hardest to rank, obviously besides King. But like Nero and Han for me are so evenly matched.
Exactly.
I feel like Han maybe is like a tad bit like higher than Nero. But then when you really think about it, you're just like, but damn, I love Nero too because he's so awesome. This motherfucker though, we got beef, so I'm not really worried about him.
Yeah, I think Hans beats out Nero like the tiniest bit for me, man-wise, because like you said, in the gala when Nero brought someone else.
Yeah.
And Hans, like, he literally met Cassie one time in his driveway and was like, no other woman ever. Yeah, like, was just like, that is my person.
That is my person. But Nero does feel that way too for his girl. Except that, like, because of who he is, he's like,
he's trying to protect her.
He is the face of the alliance and people want him dead. He's trying to protect her.
It makes sense why he did it.
Yeah.
I still don't love it. Like, you could have just gone alone.
Yeah.
Like, why did you need to have someone on your arm? You know what I mean?
She does explain why, like, that whole thing happened, but...
And what happened with them, but...
It was just, And he loves... My favorite candy is Han's favorite candy. He's a Skittles man, and I'm a Skittles girl. So I was just like, damn, she's connecting with me right here. This is supposed to be my man, but unfortunately, King will always be my man. Thank you to my man.
Yeah.
Yeah. King made me realize some things about myself. I'm a little crazy and I like crazy stuff. But this series so far, out of all of her series, is definitely my favorite.
Yes.
I'm so sad that there's not more.
I know.
Because I would probably gobble up and swallow up like 10 more of these books.
This is like the type of series where I need...
You could just keep going.
Like, give me 10, give me 15. Yeah. I will read each and every one of them.
Everyone.
I will eat it all up.
Yeah, like there was a guy who's introduced, I think in this one, who ends up marrying or started dating King's other sister. His second hand.
Yes.
And I'm just like, damn, I want a book with them too.
Oh my gosh. I thought that there was going to be a book with them.
I thought they were going to be this book.
Yes.
But then I was just, we were wrong. But yes. I was just like, damn.
Yes. Because I love, like, the way that King was so stressed because technically Dom kind of is not the enemy, but they're not friends before he's like, I married your sister. I want in.
Yeah.
Like, so.
They had their own little... like Minnesota alliance. They were like, no, but he was mostly in Chicago. Yeah. So it was just like they had a mutual respect for each other, but don't come into my land, I won't come over yours. And he was just like, sorry, haha, I want to be in your land too.
I'm in your land because I married your sister.
Yeah, you have to count me in, bitch. So overall, the series was really good. Me and Dom have beef, but it's a beef that, like, it's a beef that he can maybe fuck out of me. That's all.
I still got over it, and I read it. So
nah, he might just have to fuck it out of me, but that's okay. Yeah, they're not real people, so. Okay, so that is all of the books we've read so far by S.J. Tilley. We do have one more series. It's called the Sleet series to read by her. We don't have any of them with us, but we are really excited to
I
read that.
know.
That is
Hockey
on our
romance. I'm excited.
TBR. We did already read one hockey romance already this year. We're trying to give us a good break since it was $5, but we're really excited, especially since Sleek Kitten just came out last month. So
Yes.
we're looking forward to adding it to our TBR, but because of how hectic we've been with our work schedules, it just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
We're gonna start getting into the awards segment of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you can see what our favorite books were. They're right here. But you know, we're gonna give you a little bit of why they're our favorite books. So Courtney, why is Latte Darling your favorite book?
So Latte Darling is my favorite for a few different reasons. The first one, obviously, it introduced me to the queen that is S.J. Tilley. I saw this book all over Facebook. Like when I first started joining the spicy groups of Facebook, everyone was talking about this book. So I was like, all right, at this point I need to.
Yeah.
It exposed me to S.J. Tilley, and then also just like in general, I do like I mean, we know I love my dark romances. We know I love my mafia. But with this one, I actually did like that it didn't have any of that stuff. It was just very like spicy, but still had plot, and the main characters were it, and it was so good. Yeah, I love this book.
Yeah, she had read this and she would not shut the hell up.
I did not shut up about it.
She was just like, Ashley, are you done yet? Are you done yet? And I'm like speed reading at work because she's like, hurry the fuck up. And I'm just like, I'm trying. I'm at work too.
I did not shut up about this book when I first read it for months.
Yeah, she's like
months.
Really in love with that book.
Months. And that's why like I love the Alliance series, like overall for series, like love them, but this book, I just could not shut up about it. I could not stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go into other details, but like, yeah, that's the book.
My favorite book, obviously, is King. I can't stop talking about that man. Yeah. Him and Angelo, you know, it's kind of a tie, but King will always have my heart. He was the first one I was introduced to. I've known him a little bit longer, you know, he stuck in my heart.
Yeah.
But this book, the psychology, like he's psycho, and I clearly apparently like psychoness, but the way that man took care of her, no matter what.
I know.
She ran away. He wasn't even stressed because she came right back. He was just like, "You can go. You coming right back. I ain't mad." He's
that's like a very close. Like it's like Latte Darling and King is like right underneath it. There's no space. Like
that's like for me, it's King and Angelo's like, aha, I'm right here, and Han's like right below him with Nero. So I'm just like, all of the men that I love in this series, all of my book husbands are right here in this room. So too bad they don't really exist. I mean,
I know.
Honey,
if Axel existed, like it would be a wrap. I would be married next week.
Yeah.
Like
if my significant other wants to pick up this book and read it and understand what I like, that'd be cool too. I'm not saying I want to be kidnapped or anything. I mean, you can't kidnap someone that you are married to, but girl, this man did it for me. Okay, I'll never have no other book husband unless someone really like outdoes the fuck out of themselves.
Yeah,
ain't no fucking way. Like I even love Van from Nikki St. Crow. He doesn't touch my SJ men. He doesn't.
Really, like
no one's gonna touch them for a while.
When I think of anyone, like no one even comes to mind that's anywhere close.
Yeah,
it's just
SJ
Tilley above.
Yeah, all of them, but the SJ Tilley men are up here. Yeah, even John, he's up here. Even Dom. And that says a lot. He's still in my little group. He's last in the group out of all the guys. But he's in this group. That's our favorite book. Obviously, we said our favorite series was The Alliance.
Yep.
The men of that group.
Chef's kiss.
Which was your favorite male main character?
Male main character. I still have to go with the main character of my favorite book.
Daddy
Axel.
I did the same. I put King. I mean, obviously, it makes the most sense.
Yeah.
The men are the focus points of these stories, so it's kind of just like, why would we not pick somebody else? My second was fucking Angelo.
Yeah, mine's King.
That big growling man. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Angelo's very, very close to King. King's a little more toxic.
Yeah. It's a toxicity. We can fall in love with the toxicity of fictional people.
Right.
See, we're not saying we want that in real life. We're just saying that, oh my god, if we were delusional and crazy, this would be what we would want. Delusional and crazy to be. This is what we would want. So, what was your favorite kidnapping sequence?
So, I picked... For kidnapping, I picked Hans.
I did too.
I just thought it was the same person. Yeah, I just thought it was the best because, like we talked about earlier, it was the longest, which I know like sounds bad that it was the best, but I liked that it gave her like a chance to be like, okay, think, what am I gonna do in this situation? Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna fight back. I'm gonna like, and like even she's like running through the house of the kidnapper, like hurt, and she's still
going.
She is not Daphne,
she ain't
damsel,
no she ain't no bitch.
She is out there fighting. She's like, give me a gun, put me in, coach. And I was like, okay, queen.
Literally the second in charge of Han's group. I don't want to spoil anything. She literally is like, here you go, and she goes, alright, like, let's go. She's never shot a gun a day in her life, and she's like, let's go. They're like, don't shoot at the people in this outfit. And she's like, okay. And they're like, anyone else is fair game. Okay. I bet.
And she was like, bet. Her foot's bleeding. Like,
she's like glass everywhere. And she's just like, ow, don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And then, oh my god, but when Hans finally finds her, and he's just like, the face that like you can see that he makes because she writes it so well.
The description is
and
so
you're just
well.
You're just like, oh, okay.
You know what it is with S.J. Tilly is like, I feel like the way she writes is so well. It's descriptive enough where you literally feel like you're in the story. I feel like I can put myself in the shoes of any female character and feel like I'm living this story. But it's like, at the same time, she doesn't drag any of the world building,
It's fast and slow at the same time.
Right,
somehow.
Yeah.
Like, you get all the valuable information you need.
Exactly.
Within a short amount of time.
Yeah.
It's not crazy. It's not thick.
Right.
It's thick, but it's not like...
It's thick, but
in a bad way.
It's enough. Like, I don't ever have a part where I'm like, do I really need to know this information? Like, everything is told to you for a reason, and it's told to you amazingly. Like, it's great.
I obviously put Hans kidnapping the same way too. Yeah. But it was also because she's not just kidnapped in this one spot and like, oh no one knows where she is. She's literally kidnapped in front of Han. And he does everything he can to save her in that one instant. And he can't. And he's literally on the plane because like he has someone like coming down in a plane literally as she's being kidnapped. And he goes, bitch, you better be ready to roll out. Like, we're all ready to go. Like, my girl's in that plane and we gotta go. And and that guy on the plane is just like, copy. Let's go. Right. Like, I gotta fuel up. We'll be real fast. Like, we'll do this. And like, they're literally on it. And then he's literally on the phone like, you guys owe me a favor. And they're like, bet, copy. We would do the same thing for our girl. And it was just like, boom, 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 boom. And it was just so fast. But it was also so slow. And it was amazing.
And it was like the most intense one. Yeah. Like, because a lot of times it was
a full-on war.
Right. It was like a full-on war. It was intense. It was like, you were like, oh my god, what's gonna happen next? Like,
it was amazing.
Yeah, it was so good.
10 out of 10. Now, who was your favorite male introduction?
I picked King.
You picked King?
Yeah.
The murder was it for you? I did not pick King.
Yeah, so I picked King because it was so like dominant. Like, he was just like, boom, you're dead because you fucked with my sister.
Yeah.
Like, like, it was just hot. And he was like, all right, like, that's done. Like, and then he's like, oh shit.
And he chases her.
Yeah, he chases her. He's like, you're getting in my car. Like, you're not about to touch nothing. Like, and I was just like,
oh my god. But when she literally does that in the car in the beginning, and Darrow calls her. Right. And he's like, right. And he's just snickering in his seat. And I'm just like, oh, poor baby. Yes. It was amazing. It is pretty good.
It was a good one.
But it's not my favorite.
What's your favorite?
Narrows is my favorite.
Oh, okay.
They're just staring at each other like.
So you know what's funny is I had Nero and I literally crossed him out
for King.
For King.
Yeah, he's my favorite. The way that he literally just is like, jumps up on her second floor porch to go into her house from this one open door, and he's just like, well, you should have locked your door. Like, that's sarcastic. Right. Like if he's not intruding in her life, and he's just like, are you good? And she's just like, yeah. Me too. If that big ass man came in my house and he looked like that too, I'd be like,
yeah, I think that's what it was. Like, if I just like had that entire sequence of events happen to me, I would just be like, you need
a towel? You want a shower?
Like,
no towel? I'll shower with you.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Obviously, it was like the introduction to the alliance too.
Right.
So he holds that little special place too.
I know. I had no idea what we were in store.
Oh my god, it was so good. When we first read them, there was only 2. Yeah. She dropped Dom like sneakily. Right. And then we like, I was like, okay, cool. But then she announced Han when we were about to start reading Dom. So I was like, no, let's save them together.
Yes. And the way that she introduces Hans in Dom.
Yeah, it was worth it. I'm glad we waited to read them back to back. Them,
yeah.
Not waited until it was released. Do you have a favorite dedication in the book? So the dedication, if you guys don't know, is what the authors write in the beginning. They can dedicate it to literally anybody. You guys should definitely start reading the dedications. There are some crazy ass dedications out there.
I was gonna say
there's some crazy ones.
So I put 2 down.
I did too.
And they're both from the Alliance series.
I actually have one from Latte Darling.
Really? Yeah. Okay. Which one did you pick from the Alliance?
Nero.
Okay. Yeah. So I picked Nero and I picked Hans's. So.
Oh my! That was one of them. I had started with 4. And I picked Latte Darling and Nero, and my other 2 were Hans and Miss Sin. Because Mrs. Sin is good too.
Yeah.
So Nero's dedication, it says, to all my ladies who see those walking red flags as a pretty shade of pink, ... repeat after me, only when the men are fictional, and this is what we live by. I mean, we as one too many people, this is what she lives by. I mean, I still like me a walking red flag, I ain't gonna lie. They're nice and pink. I say I'm a pink flag too, so I mean that's not healthy, but
I'm traumatized. I need green flags and golden retrievers going forward.
I'm married, so
yeah. And
I'm not
then
saying he's a red flag guy. I'm not saying that.
And then for Hans, I thought this one was really funny. So Hans's this book is dedicated to Nero, the beautiful bastard who started it all. I love your unhinged ass.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love this.
I was going to write that one right after I wrote Nero's, but I was like, Nero's is the king. Okay.
When I read it, I was like, yeah. That holds so true. Because I feel like I don't want it to sound like I don't love Nero, because I have been like expressing my love for King, and I love me my golden retriever Hans. But Nero really is just like that unhinged, sarcastic, grumpy fucking
fucker, that little motherfucker.
Yeah, I love him. Love him.
So King and Nero are besties.
Yes.
But they don't live next to each other. And then when we meet Dom moves in right next to King, and King's so butthurt. No, he moves in right next to Nero. Nero's so butthurt. Right. And then they end up besties. I swear to God, they end up besties.
And I love when Nero appears in all the other books.
Yeah.
Like, even...
He's so sassy.
Yeah, he's so sassy with that, but I freaking love it.
Yeah. My other one was Latte Darlings, and it says, this book is dedicated to anyone who's ever felt too big and too small all at once. Some days the world will eat you up or catch up with our worth, but until then, know that you're enough is just as you are.
I did think that one was really cute when I read it. When I read it, I was like, oof, that's a good one.
It made me cry a little bit. I was just like, okay, well, thanks, SJ. I didn't really need to be so sad right now, but this really helped me.
I know. It's a good reminder.
She's beautiful. Yeah. She's a great person. Always.
And I remember I read the dedication was it's the first thing you read when you open a book, or what you should read if you aren't right now.
Yeah.
And that dedication, when I read it, I was just like, I already love her. And then she just delivered this beautiful book.
The beautiful books that are all here.
Yes, all of these beautiful books.
The last one I had was just for Miss Sin, and it was only because her husband's name is John. And so when she was first writing Mr. Sin, she didn't think that John was going to get his own book. But then by then, people loved John so much, they wanted a John book. So she was like, fuck, I can't change his name. So the dedication literally is like, I'm so sorry to my husband whose name is John. This is so fucking weird. And I just thought it was funny because that's my husband's name.
Yeah.
So I thought it was funny.
Yeah,
It was, yeah, it was
that's
just
funny.
like, yeah, mood. So now that we've wrapped up our awards, we're going to talk about the AMA that SJ Tilly did on Reddit. We
Mhm.
both have all of our little
Yeah.
pack. And then we're going to talk about the Sleet series that we want to read. And then, we'll be wrapping it up.
Yeah.
So sad, so short, but I'm so excited. Okay, so I found this because Miss SJ, she was a doll and did an AMA, I think like 2 weeks ago on Reddit. And she didn't answer my question, but that's okay because she answers my DMs because she's awesome.
I know. I will say that too.
She's
Like,
awesome.
she really is awesome. She interacts with her fans so
Yeah.
much. She'll, like, if you tag her on anything on Instagram, she'll, like, post. She, like, reposts all of her
Yeah.
fan stuff. She is really interactive with her fans,
Yeah.
which is
She loves her fans.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love when an author can still be in touch with their fan base and still understand that she's still human. Like,
Right.
she's not way above like her britches. And I'm not saying that
Exactly.
you're not like way up there because you definitely are.
No,
But,
she
like,
absolutely is.
but
But
you're like,
she doesn't act like it.
yeah,
She,
you
yeah.
still act like we're
Because
just
your
like
fans
a
are
normal person.
like,
You just be kicking it with us.
yeah, when people get too famous, they think, like, they don't realize that their fans are the people that put them there, and I
Yeah.
feel like she is really appreciative of
Yeah,
every single
she
person.
appreciates us and we appreciate you.
Yeah.
So the first one, her first AMA question is, what's usually your creative process? And she wrote, she is a plotter, and this is how I like that shit.
Mhm.
She has outlines for all of the books, and she doesn't start writing until the outline is basically done, which means she doesn't really have to deal with writer's block because she doesn't start writing until she knows everything that will happen in that book. And I completely get that because I've been trying to write my own book, and I'd be going through my own writer's block, and I literally have an outline, so I don't even know how she does it, but she's just amazing. She's just that
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah.
She's just the queen.
Mhm. So mine is, do you have any advice for newbies? And it says, my biggest advice comes from the marketing side of things. If you haven't created a pen name yet, do it now, even if your book is a year out. Then get onto all the socials with that pen name and be active with reader groups and find some author friends. As for writing, give yourself some grace. Your first draft of your first book will be rough. Take your time and don't rush. I personally outline before I start, so I know exactly where my story is going. But I know everyone has a different creative process, and there are lots of successful authors that just sit down and start.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's your advice for your book.
That's all the advice. Thanks, man. As my author friends, you are my one author friend. The next one is someone wrote, each of the guys in the Alliance series is some level of unhinged, which we love.
Mhm.
But the psychology of Han's behavior was just a bit ... more, which it was. He's a little cuckoo for cuckoo puffs. But so is King. I ain't gonna lie. So is King.
Mhm.
What was your inspiration for Hans's character? And she writes, so all of my books start with one scene in my brain and then go from there. And for Hans, I knew his backstory, knew it was going to be in the neighbors, but the scene that clung to me was the image of him hunched over his sink eating the disgusting cookies, and that quite literally set his personality. What type of man would do that? Why would he feel so drawn to her? What else would he do to be closer? And it kind of just fell into place from there. And
I love that.
yeah, like that's literally his character. That's how
really
you meet him.
Yeah.
He's literally hunched over the
He's like,
sink.
oh, these are so bad, but like I needed to eat them because she made them for me.
Yeah.
And oh yeah.
He's beautiful. He won't waste a single bite either.
Yeah.
He'll shove them like 4 cookies into his mouth just to get it over with.
Yeah.
But it's so beautiful. He's so beautiful. I love him.
It is. If he wanted to, he would. That's the definition of Hans.
If he wanted to, he would, yeah.
Yeah. The next one is, what surprised you most about writing and publishing your first book? And she said, the surprise of publishing is the fact that this is my life now. I never imagined I'd be able to quit my sales job and write smut for a living.
Yeah.
It's seriously a dream. Honestly.
That's what I want. Between our our YouTube channel and all the stuff that we have planned together.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. But like my brain doesn't work like that sometimes.
I know.
But I think it's just because I just picked a really hard genre to start off with. No one told me to pick Greek mythology fiction. Like, no one told me to do that.
Yeah. And then she said, specifically for my first book, I did not really prepare myself for rejection. I wrote Sleek Kitten, pitched it to about 50 literary agents.
Damn.
Got shot down every time. So I just kept writing until I had 5 books done with no idea how to get them published. until I won a mini mentorship with Jamin Eve through an auction, and she helped me walk through self-publishing. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I actually
Shout
had
out
no
to
idea.
that other person,
Yeah.
Jamin.
Jamin Eve.
Shout out to them.
They
You
had
gave
the
us
eye.
SJ Tilly.
I know. The fact that SJ Tilly got shot down 50 times makes
Yeah.
my heart break.
By
because
50 different publishers, you guys fucked up.
Yeah, that's
fucked up.
insane. You are stupid.
I hope she never goes
She
in a
is a
publishing
queen.
house. Is she in a publishing house? No.
No, she's
She still
self-published.
self-publishes, yeah. The next one I have is, do you have any writing rituals, a favorite playlist, a special place for writing, snacks you can't work without? And she goes, so when I write, I listen to music, but I don't do a playlist. She picks one song that fits the vibe or the scene of the book, and then she just listens to that on repeat. Sometimes for days, sometimes for hours, whatever, will get it done. Haha, it's a bit psychotic. This is what she writes. But I mean, it's a bit psychotic. I mean, you write psychotic men, so it's okay. Yeah. You can be a little psychotic too.
Yeah.
And then she goes, and I always have to have beverages, water for sure, then something fun, sometimes coffee or an Alani. I've never heard of that. You're gonna have
it's
to
an energy drink.
Oh.
Alani knew.
I don't drink energy drinks. I'm more of a water person.
I'm a fiend. I'm trying to get better.
Or juice, occasionally alcohol if the characters are drinking, and then snacks are harder because she doesn't like pausing, typing, but if I have something I usually eat it with chopsticks to keep her fingers clean.
That's smart, actually.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't like to type my book first. I like to write my books first. So if I like over here on my notepad, I would have to use chopsticks too. Yeah. A little Cheeto dust.
That's valid. The next one, it says, what pushed you to begin writing? And she said she always had an active imagination. She's been a daydreamer since she was a kid, and I've always been a reader, and she never intended to write.
Oh.
Yeah. She went to school for marketing. Yeah.
Oh
I spent a lot of time traveling for my job, and I listened to romance books on my long drive. The daydreaming never stopped, and one day I started thinking about this kiss cam scene and then obsessed over it, then put it in my notes app, and then expanded on the idea until one day I had an outline for Sleek Kitten.
Oh,
that's cute.
I have to read Sleek Kitten. I want to see about this camp scene.
I know.
The next one is, what was the most difficult book to write in terms of characters and plots? So she writes, because of the outlining before I write them, there isn't any big changes from my plan to on the page or to her completing a book. More often than not, little details and threads will get added, but it's the little things. That's all. I like that. It's always the little things that make the book.
Yeah.
Always.
This next one I'm excited to know the answer for because I read it and I'm like, ooh. Do you feel pressure to keep pumping out as many books as you did over the last year/year and a half, or do you wish to spread them out further? And I really hope she's about to say she's pumping them out.
Yeah,
but
no pressure.
She said, and there are a few times I cursed myself for setting my own short deadlines, but honestly, I have so many books to write and I want them out of my brain and onto paper.
Yay!
There are 12 books backed up in my brain, and if I slowed down to 2 books a year, it would take me 6 years to get through them. And by the time those 6 years were up, I'd have more.
Yeah. Boom, go,
yes!
Go,
I will read 12 books, like, right now.
Back to back. We will drop everything for you.
Bring them out.
The next one I have is, does it bother you when other authors reference you and or your books in their books? And she goes, it doesn't bother me. I do it in my own books. In Sleep Princess, the book she was reading in the start was an Alice Cold Breath book. Obviously, having actual characters in another book is a no-go, but I love the mentions, unless it was in a super problematic book, but if I hadn't had that yet.
That's good.
I don't know if I would like that.
I do kind of find, like, it's weird sometimes when, like, things are referenced from outside world.
Yeah,
like,
I see, like, an author referencing themselves.
Yeah.
Like how she sometimes, like, references the other characters. But I don't know about, like, another author referencing one of my things. I mean, cool, you like my stuff, but, like, that's kind of weird.
It is kind of weird.
It's weird to me if that's her own preference, but I have my own preference too.
Yeah. The next one is there a book or even a scene you would like to revisit and change? She starts her answer with bahaha. A good question, but no.
Hell no.
I have the somewhat toxic trait, well, her men are toxic, of being very confident in my stories.
So she's her men. Got it.
I won't go back and read a book once it's published because it's hard to turn off the editing part of my brain.
Aww.
So there would be a lot of, I should have used a different word here. But for scenes, nope. I will listen to my audiobooks when they come out. It's a whole different experience and somehow removes the editing urge. I've never deleted a scene before either. I get asked about bonus deleted scenes, and there are none, mostly due to my outlining before. But deep down, I'm lazy and refuse to waste time writing something I'll delete later.
See, she's so freaking realistic. She's
Right.
so unproblematic. She's the best. Okay, she's the best. That was so like, I'm just lazy and I'm not gonna fight.
Right.
Me too. Okay.
I'm not gonna write something that I'm not gonna put in there.
Yeah.
Which is valid. And also, it's kind of cool that she's never deleted a scene before. Like, I get outlining it.
Yeah.
But like to not even
edit it, delete it. That's awesome.
That's
actually.
awesome.
That means you just got skill, okay? You just got skill and we all know it. The next one I'm getting into is book related stuff, and it says, also, would you consider writing a book with the male main character having more of a dad bod as opposed to very muscular? And she wrote, I'd considered it. I understand that it's a little hypocritical to have all the plus size girlies and not the men, but this is my fantasy world, lol. And as far as representation goes, we see on TV all the time the chubby big husband and the thin wife, so I enjoy doing the opposite. And I will say that in my mind, Axel from Latte Darling is a big barrel-chested dude and a thick body, and I still describe him as firm, but he's not cut. The cover model is much more trim than picture him in her head.
I was gonna say, when you were reading that, I did think, when I pictured Axel, I pictured him as like big, but not like yeah, like she said, like firm.
Yeah.
Like kind of like Angelo too. Like I don't see Angelo. I don't see him as small. I don't see King as small. Like, and
no, I see King as small.
Really?
But you know my type, so
yeah,
I see him as my type.
Yeah. So, but the other thing that I've realized we forgot to mention until now is all of her females are plus size, which is amazing. Which we also love.
Yes.
So love representation. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see Angelo. I see him literally in my head. You know the fist guy that you say a certain character looks like from Spider-Man?
Oh.
That our one coworker? Yeah. That's how I picture him. Especially when he's in the doorway of her office, just looking at her. That's how I picture him. Size. But like, obviously much smaller. Right. But that's how I picture him. Big as hell.
Right. Well, that's the thing. I picture him and I picture Axel as big as hell. Big guys.
Yeah. I don't see them as like this. I mean, they're hot, but yeah, I don't see them as this.
Yeah. I picture them as my type.
Big boys. Big boys.
Big boys.
King is a certain someone in my head too.
The next one is, I want to know which of your Tilly World couples has been the most challenging to write for. So she said, okay, so honestly, the hardest book to write, I think, was Sleep Princess, my last release. And that's because it was book 4 in a series that I published in 2021. And I actually wrote them before that in 2019. I didn't know how to indie publish, so I sat on them a few years. So it was a bit of a struggle to get back into the mindset of a series from so long ago. And it was after a year of writing Mafia. So the rom-com vibes, too, took a moment to get rolling.
Yeah. And that makes sense. I think that's why we've like put off reading the Slate series, because it's rom-com where obviously we want to read something that's like scary, a little dark and twisted.
Yeah, and we did already read the other hockey series.
We are looking forward to read it, but we have that, and we still have The Chase by Elle Kennedy too. Right. So we're kind of just like. The next question is, how excited is she for her new series? And she goes, she is so excited for the new series, Love Utley. It was a spur of the moment right back in December, and she's super proud of it, and she hopes that we all love it.
I'm sure we will.
I don't know what it's about. I don't know like what kind of genre it is. Obviously, I'm hoping for something dark romance.
I know, I'm not sure.
But fuck, I'll read whatever she wants to give me at this point. I hope it's dark romance.
That would be so amazing. So the next one is, she wrote, they wrote, are you planning to write another Mafia / dark romance series in the future?
God, please.
And she said, yes. I have a dark series outline that I'm super excited about. She said, "Peep my hint at the end of Hans in the author notes." So I don't know what that
yeah,
says.
about
But...
Kane.
Oh, right, about
Yeah.
Kane, yes. I don't have any other Mafia planned, but I imagine I'll end up back there soon.
Oh, well then, to that, this question says, when will Kane be written? And it says, Kane is part 3 of a dark series that I have planned. I'm going to try to write the 3 series I have outlined as completed series like I did for the Alliance. But that means 1 series at a time, and it will be starting in 2025. And I haven't decided on the order I'll write them in. So he's one of 3 books.
Okay. Ooh, I'm
one
excited.
Of 100 wing books.
Yeah. I'm excited.
I
A dark
know.
romance.
I
Like,
love her.
strictly dark romance. I'm very excited about.
Me too.
To read from her. The next one. So, what would you say is the best book to start with for someone who hasn't read your work? And she said, I'm all over the board with my subgenres. Mafia to hockey rom-com with small town and romantic suspense thrown in. And I myself am a mood reader, so it really depends on what you like.
I know personally I like anything, so I'm always down for the count. But obviously, we kind of like helped you out. If you don't want to get a little dark and twisty yet, you want to read something like slow and steady, maybe just go into sleep first. And then maybe do Latte, the duology. And then leave the Alliance for last. That is like the most.
Yeah. If you're like introducing yourself to this type of reading,
yeah,
that's the order you should go in.
Yeah. I kind of have a twofer. It says how many books will be in her new series, and she says the love letters, that's I guess the series.
The Utley ones.
Yeah. Will have 2 books unless something changes. And then she goes, how many books will be in the Biter series? And I'm not sure what the Biter series is. I think maybe the Kane series.
Oh, probably.
Might be the Biter series. And she says that one will have 3 books. It would make sense.
Yeah. The next one is, what book of yours do you wish more readers would pick up? What's the one you hold really close to your heart? She said the Sin series is my least read series, and I really wish more people would pick it up. It was the first one I published, so I think it's gotten a little lost with all my other releases.
We love the Sin series.
Yeah.
We love it. Yeah, it's not, amazing like John. Sorry, John. But like the first 2, they're up there. Angelo's literally my second favorite guy. Yeah. So read the damn Sin series.
Well, that's the thing is, I feel like the Sin series, when I was reading it, because we read it last of her books, I could tell that it was one that she had written earlier in her career, but it was still amazing. Yeah. It was still fantastic. Absolutely. I still loved everything about it. So
it's not, like my favorite because the Alliance, I'm unhinged as fuck. So it's not my favorite, but it's still really good. And you might like John more than I do. And literally the only thing that threw me off with John's book is that Katniss Everdeen showed up in the end of the book. It was just weird. And I'm sorry I keep saying that she's Katniss Everdeen. SJ, I'm so sorry. The next one I also have is a twofer. It says, when is Dean and Ty's book coming? And I'm gonna guess Dean is from the Sleet series. And then we all know who Daddy Ty is. So she says that Ty and Dean's books have outlines underway, but honestly, she doesn't see either of them coming out before 2026. And then someone wrote in that same one that we need to see more John Clark, which is from Miss Sin, and she goes, we do love John, but you'll see him in Ty's book, I promise. And then for Dean's book, it says, when you write Dean's book, will we see Alex and Steph? And then it says, Darling Lake is a pretty small town, so I'll say that the chances are strong our favorites will all bump into each other.
I guess we'll see more when we read those.
Yeah, I'm kind of wanting to wait until maybe this gets announced, but
right. But if it's not gonna be for a while,
2020 damn 6, they're killing us, man. Yeah. Ugh, I am super excited though for Ty's book. That man is unhinged. That man is gonna match the energy of Vincent and King and Han. I love me an unhinged man. Yeah, he's gonna be unhinged for sure. The next one: what real places in the Twin Cities / Minnesota inspired settings for your books? So I don't think we mentioned it yet, but she's from Minnesota. Yeah. All of her books take place in Minnesota. Yep. So that's kind of why this question is relevant to her life. Yeah, that's cute. She said mostly every landmark / city is made up, but the Hawk is of course based off of the Excel Center. Same for the
blank. Whoops. Almost spoiled. Oh, I was reading it. I'm like, what? She said, whoops. Almost spoiled something there. LOL. Love
Oh,
her.
silly. You playing with us too much.
And Beanbag Coffee is based off of Caribou Coffee, and Darling Lake is based off of Lake Minnetonka, where I used to live.
The next one is obviously going to break our freaking heart, but this person asked, "Do you have any more plans for the Alliance series?" And she goes, "Okay, so the Alliance series is over, and there will be no more full-length books for it. But hear it here first. There will be a little something at the end of the year that she has something planned for them." And yes, that's the worst answer, but that's all she's willing to give at the moment. And then that also attaches to what would each of the Alliance men, give their wives for Christmas. And she says that what would they give their wives for Christmas? LOL. See previous answer. It will all come together, I promise. I hope it's a Christmas novella.
Oh my gosh! I would be so happy. I feel like that's what it is, and I'm gonna cry.
Oh, I would love that. I need children. Marriages. Oh,
I need children. I need like Nero's sassy little freaking children running around.
Oh my god, I need a little devil king.
A little devil king. Like a sassy girl from Nero, and then like a devilish little boy from King.
Oh my goodness.
That would be so cute. So cute.
And if I'm sorry, I know they're not related. They're really not, King and Nero. But if they have a daughter and a son and they don't end up together,
that's what I mean.
I'm plotting. I'm plotting revenge on SJ. I love you so much, but dude,
exactly,
that'd be amazing.
That would be so cute. Okay, the next one: which book / character / storyline is most personal to you? And she said the book that is most personal to her, this is going to seem like a cheat, but right now it's Love Utley. Having worked in corporate America for so long, I put a lot of myself into some of Hannah's experiences. I know you can't read it yet, but when you do, I think you'll understand. So Hannah's going to be a corporate girly.
I mean, we're corporate girlies.
We're corporate girlies, so I'm ready.
I'm excited as fuck. The next one I have is... what are your favorite romance books? And she goes, her favorite romance books are anything by Marina Zapata. She listens to the audios over and over again, mostly Luna and the Lie Culty, Wait for It, All Roads Lead Here, and When Gracie Meet the Grump. I've never heard any of these.
Me either.
Or this author, so we might have to look into them. If our girly is telling us they're recommended, then we're going to have to recommend it to ourselves.
Definitely.
She also says everything by Alice Coldbreath, which is historical. So sorry.
Interesting. Well, hey, maybe she likes it.
Arrogant Devil by R.S. Gray is one of her fave rom-coms. She has a ton of great books.
Okay.
Love Jane Austen's books and Ivy Asher's Centennial series, especially Hidden Wings. It's amazing. So now we have a whole bunch of things that we can add to our everlasting TBR. I have heard of Ivy Asher, but none of these other people before.
Yeah.
Interesting. So thank you, Miss Ma'am. We'll be adding these to our TBR.
My next one. What is your favorite romance read this year so far?
Oh, look at that.
So she said, my fave this year, ... it might be last year. I don't remember when the last book came out, but the Cruel Shifterverse series by Jasmine Moss, Why Choose Paranormal, Badass Women, and the Banter, top notch.
Ooh.
I am going to have to look into that because that sounds amazing.
Miss Ma'am,
that sounds like a whole lot of everything we're into.
Yeah. The next one, we only have a few more, guys, is what's the last few books you've read, and are any of them her favorites? And she goes, I'm currently on an Ivy Asher kick. I read The Hunt last month and am currently reading Into the Woods now. I mostly just read historical or paranormal.
Interesting.
Since I have so many contemporary plots in my brain, I steer away from reading them.
That's valid, though.
We understand.
That's valid. The last one I have is, who were your most impactful authors / books that inspired you to start writing?
Aww.
She said, I think I have to bring it back to the first romance book I ever read when I was in my 20s, and it was Naked in Death by J.D. Robb.
I don't know.
I don't know what that book is. Yeah. I don't know.
We're gonna have to read that one too.
Interesting.
There's so many books that we're gonna have to add to our list now.
I know.
Oh my god. And the last thing that we're gonna talk about is we're gonna play Fuck, Marry, Kill with the men of the books. So let's start with our darlings.
Yes.
But we're only gonna do Kiss and Marry.
Okay.
So Kiss and Marry Axel and Beckett.
Kiss Beckett. We're marrying Axel.
Absolutely.
I would marry Axel.
That is the only
tomorrow.
correct way to do it. So Kiss, Marry, Fuck. Sorry, we're not doing Kill. For the Sin series.
I would probably. You're probably gonna honestly be a little surprised by this.
Okay.
But I'm gonna kiss Mr. Sin, Vincent.
No!
I'm gonna marry Sin to Angelo.
Obviously.
And I'm gonna fuck Miss Sin John.
Okay. I switched two of those. So I'm gonna marry Angelo. I love him.
Yeah.
I get to fuck him and kiss him whenever the fuck I want. Excuse you. So that's who I put as my Mary, but I'm fucking the shit out of Mr. Sin. The way that they got down in Vegas.
I don't know. It's just something about
I know
this, like
the closet scene with John
I know
had me in a chokehold.
Like I just feel like he would just be doing some I don't know.
Yeah. I would just rather make out with him in that closet instead. I mean, I would have memories of what could have been, but I would just kiss John.
I'm feeling
I already have my own John, sorry.
Yeah. That's why I feel it's kind of weird to say it.
We can call him something else. Okay, so what did you do for the Alliance series?
Okay, so for me, I picked Kiss Hans, fuck Nero,
yes,
Marry King,
yes,
and Kill Dom.
I did exactly the same thing.
Yeah,
we had to add a kill because there was 4 of them.
Yeah,
but Dom, you just traumatized me, and I'm not even your wife.
Yeah, it's a little traumatizing.
It's just too much.
It's a little much.
I did the exact same thing, and then yeah, I want to make out with Han. I mean, he could with the garage scene. He could do whatever he wants to me.
I know, but like he just has such golden retriever energy that I'm like, okay,
you touch her and you die. Well, yeah, okay,
yeah.
But Nero, the way that King scenes are written.
Yeah, I need to marry into that.
Yeah. I need that energy and that energy alone.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody. Those are all of our questions, all of our AMAs from Reddit. We do have, the Sleet series that we need to read. We're looking forward to Love Utley to come out. I'm looking forward to 2026 when Ty's book comes out finally. And Kane's series as well.
Yeah.
But overall, SJ Tilly, you have officially won Author of the Month for us from April of 2024. Whenever you decide to drop more books, you'll get another one. But till then, we love you. Thank you for being so amazing. Thank you for writing so amazing.
Right.
Thank you for introducing us to all of these guys, all of these men. And all of the things that I didn't know I was fucked up inside of the head for. But we love you, so thank you very much, SJ. And if you do not decide to read an SJ book so far, you're cuckoo for cuckoo puffs.
Yeah, you gotta do that.
We can't help you anymore. Our next episode is going to actually be our TBR list. We're going to do a very small episode and just talk about our shared TBR for the rest of the year of 2024 and, our solo reads as well. But if you guys have any recommendations after this episode that you want us to take a look at, definitely drop it in our comments. We'll definitely look into maybe adding it to our TBR. I know our TBRs are very, very long.
Yes.
But, we can always, jump up a few steps. It's okay.
And with that, thank you for joining us today and talking about our favorite girly. I'm Courtney. This is Ashley. We're Book Bliss and Chicks. And we'll catch you next time. Bye.